news out of the Patriots camp. And definitely some welcome news at that. The Patriots traded a 2023 third-round pick to the Miami Dolphins for wide receiver DeVante Parker, as well as a 2022 fifth-round pick. So Patriots getting a good wide receiver and a fifth-round pick in this year's draft. Now, I talked a little bit about DeVante Parker in my segment last week about Tyreek Hill and his contract. If you either saw that in the full podcast or saw the clip that I put up about that, you will have at least maybe in the background heard me talk about DeVante Parker a little bit, and I certainly like him a lot. And don't get me wrong, he's not he's not the absolute bona fide number one wide receiver that I think a lot of Patriots fans, including me, really, really want the Patriots to get. But he is a great wide receiver. He's not an A.J. Brown, he's not a Justin Jefferson, but he's very talented. And he's certainly capable of putting up 1,000 yards like he did in 2019. He has done it before. When he's healthy, he is among the upper echelon of wide receivers. But there's that key phrase again, if healthy. He hasn't been. That's been the problem for DeVante Parker. I almost said Devontae Adams, but I didn't. DeVante Parker over the last few seasons since he's joined the NFL, really. He's only played a full season once in his 7-year career, so it's pretty much always been health with him. I mean, it hasn't been talent, it's been his lack of sustainable health. Now that we got the negatives out of the way, let me tell you how great this trade was. I mean, I love it. It was virtually perfect for the Patriots right now for what they need. He gives you something on offense that you just don't have. I mean, you kind of have it with N'Keal Harry, but he's not good. So you're going to get a guy that's actually probably going to be able to follow through on his talent there. Excuse me. But yeah, so he's fantastic. He's 6'3", over 200 pounds. So he's going to be able to give you that guy that's going to get your 50-50 balls. He's going to be able to get jump balls. He's going to be able to, use his body to shield off defenders in the end zone, which you have with your tight ends, but you don't really necessarily have with your wide receivers. He's young. He's controllable. He's got 2 years left on his contract, and I think he's owed just over $5 million in each of the next 2 seasons annually. So, I mean, that's pretty darn good considering how much money these wide receivers are getting paid nowadays. He can slot right into the number 1 or number 2 wide receiver role without really any kind of discussion or really any, much adjustment period because he's just that good. And even though I did say that he has played 16 games only once in his career, he has never played less than 10 games. So, it's not like he's been out for the whole year every year or had major surgeries or anything like that have kept him out for, entire years and everything like that. But he has been out there for the majority of games every single year. So, even though, yes, health is still a concern, you're still probably, more likely than not, going to get DeVante Parker for at least the majority of your season. And the Patriots got an extra pick in this year's draft, an extra 5th-round pick, in a very, very deep draft class, so certainly they could use it to, help rebuild that offensive line that's been wary. You may be able to even take a linebacker back there in the 5th round that you like, maybe even a defensive back, something like that. There's plenty of options that you can have for the Patriots, and all they had to give up was a 2023, so next year, a 3rd-round pick, which, that's a decent pick, but the Patriots, because J.C. Jackson left in free agency this year, they are going to get a 3rd-round compensatory pick in next year's draft, so they will, at the very least, still have 1 3rd-round pick to their name. So, yes, it would have been nice to have 2 3rd-round picks. It always is nice to have more picks, but if you're going to give up a pick, you might as well at least get a similar pick in return for it, and that's exactly what the Patriots did. So, quite frankly, I'm super duper excited about this move. I think DeVante Parker is very underrated, but we will have to see if he can blossom in a Pats offense that has been notoriously tricky for newcomers. Just ask Mohamed Sanu, just ask Josh Gordon, just ask Chad Ochocinco. There's been plenty of of examples of wide receivers that have come into the Patriots system and just cannot figure it out. And, maybe that's a flaw in the system, but that's just the way it's been. So, even with that, I don't think the Patriots could have done much better here. I realize that the Patriots really need a legitimate number one wide receiver, but I will say this, with the additions of Ty Montgomery, who's a good kind of, hybrid running back wide receiver, a healthy James White coming back this year, hopefully Jonnu Smith taking a huge step forward in this year's offense, and Nelson Aguilar giving anything in the offense this year, figuring something out. And the Patriots now have the ability to move up in the draft, move back in the draft, stay at 21. My sincere hope is that they trade up, or hopefully, like last year, they just stick at number 21 and this guy just ends up falling to number 21 and they draft wide receiver Jamison Williams out of Alabama. Because with DeVante Parker and with all the wide receivers that you still have on the team, it's really not going to hurt you that much to take a wide receiver that's not going to play for you for a year. Because next year, you're probably going to lose Jacoby Myers. You might even lose Nelson Aguilar. Jamison Williams can slide right in there and be your number one wide receiver, assuming that he ends up getting healthy and returning to form, which I don't doubt that he will. Hey guys, me again. Thank you so much for watching one of my clips from the Lopes Goes Last podcast. These clips are so much fun to do. I absolutely love making them and I absolutely love doing them. And this podcast is my baby. So I really want this thing to grow and I really want it to succeed. So if you did like what you see, please subscribe. Also hit that bell notification so you never miss any one of my episodes or one of my clips like this one. And please do also like and share these videos with your friends and your family so that we can make this thing grow as fast as possible. And I wanted to thank you again so much. And I hope you guys enjoyed the video and have a great rest of your day.